Hi, this is a Sports History and Mixed Fight TV. In this project we will try to tell you about the main personalities and sports events that have changed us today. The year 1900 is beginning of the 20th century, the era of the global popularization of all sports. What happened in this year? Let's start with the second Summer Olympics, already not Greek but also international. Took place in Paris from May 14 to October 28. The games were timed to the World Exhibition, held at the time in the French capital. Games have become more massive compared to previous games of 1896 in Athens. Arrived 997 athletes from 24 countries. Athletes competed for 95 sets of medals in 20 sports disciplines. There were no grappling or boxing at these games. Later, these iconic sports will be included in the Olympic program only in the next games, in 1904. The Americans will become the first champions. They will get silver and even the bronze and all weight categories. The Americans will pick up all. After all, only American athletes will take part in these disciplines. The beginning of the century is the beginning of the history of European mixed martial arts, among them French boxing, well known as savate. In addition to the first fighting technique, it includes combat leg kicks and the technique of hooks and throws. Here's how the description of this sport sounded in one of the periodicals from that time. Professors of this art practice daily in long, high kicks against an imaginary target. Their accuracy is simply incomparable. With a high side kick, they knock down the ashes from the cigar of a person standing nearby without touching the fire. They never lose balance. The weight of the body is on the back leg, while the front leg, swaying slightly, is already for an instant hit. The most striking example of historical illustration of this technique and fighting scenes of Jean-Claude Van Damme in films and on television. And the real deal of this year was Joe Gans, a boxer nicknamed by the Old Master. Boxers and sports commentators of that time called Joe Gans incomparable in every way. They considered him unique both physically, surprisingly smart and filigree boxer. If you look at the video of the battles with Hans, you can see how different he was in his intelligence in the conduct of the battle from the fighters of this time, who for the most part were adherents of gross total boxing, the evolution of fist fights. The Ring magazine called the Hans the greatest lightweight of all time, putting him in honorable first place in the editorial piece of magazine in the 1958. Despite tuberculosis, a disease of lungs and considerably the health, the boxer spent 42 rounds and knocked out his opponent at the expense of accuracy, perfect footwork and combinations. Hans spent 177 professional fights, won 145 and won 100 victories by knockout. In 1900 he entered the ring 17 times. This year he was lucky to take part in the first fight for the champion title, but after the 12th round the doctor stopped the fight. Joe had a cut that could not be closed. He will become the world champion in a year and a half and will hold another 14 successful defense of this title. Boxing experts of the time talked about him in Boxing Illustrated magazine in 1960 as follows. He was an artist, a master, a brilliant tactician who could outwit and outplay almost anyone, but it is impossible to describe his true genius if you have not seen him in action. This is Mixed Fight TV, subscribe to the channel and God bless you.